Hey guys, it's Alyssa, the hopeless romantic redhead,
And I'm Danielle, the whodunit detective.
and welcome to Main Character Syndrome. If you feel like you are the main character in your life, you are in the right place. Okay, so in today's episode, we are going to be talking about our top summer reads. Danielle, did you read a lot this summer?
I felt like I read a crap ton.
I feel like I read almost
and
too
I
much.
think a crap ton is a lot.
So like one of my favorite activities is reading by the pool.
Yeah.
And I definitely did that. Like, I swear every weekend I was like, okay, no, I can't hang out with you because I'm reading by the pool.
Yeah, well, we just need to read by the pool together.
Exactly.
Or I'll just put my headphones in and I'll listen to all my books and fall asleep.
Which brings me to my main character moment of the week. So, obviously, I spent a ton of time at the pool. So, I live in an apartment complex with a bunch of neighbors that we're all friends.
Mhm.
And we just decided to go down to the pool and just have a heyday. So, like, we acted like we were children. So, we found a bunch of goggles and then we played mermaids. That's how I felt like a main character moment. I was a mermaid.
My main character moment, that's a really good main character moment. I don't know, hard to follow up that. Mine was, if you remember from several episodes ago, I talked about my main character moment was going to the lake over Mother's Day.
Yeah, and you dropped
and
your
dropping
phone.
the phone in the lake. Well, I've since been back to the lake, and I'd say my main character moment was being on the boat and being at the dock and going fishing and not dropping my phone
You
in the
kept
lake.
your phone on land?
No, but there were a lot of jokes made by Andrew and his parents and myself. I was like, "Oh, hey Dan, don't drop my phone in the lake this
Yeah.
time."
Oh, you gave it to someone else to hold while you were on the lake?
No, Andrew's dad, Dan, accidentally picked up a beanbag on the boat that had my phone in it. So it was technically my fault. But yeah, I picked up the beanbag and then my phone fell off the boat into the water. But that was months ago. It still works.
It still works.
Everything's great. And I also, big fisher girl right here, caught some bass. So that was nice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
good job on not dropping it in the lake this time.
I'm one of those women who takes pictures with fish.
I mean, yeah, I'm a girl from Minnesota, so obviously I take pictures with fish too.
Every time I catch a fish, Andrew's like, "Here, hold it up. Let me take a picture of you." And he just loves it.
That's what you're supposed to do when you catch a fish. What else do you do?
I know, but people hate on men who like post pictures of them holding fish. And I've learned to respect it.
We hate on men who post pictures of them holding fish on dating websites. There is a difference, and it's mostly because they all do it.
But I'm like, now that I love to fish, I'm like, I respect it.
Respect.
I'm like, dang, look at that big bass.
Love them big bass. On that note, so we were talking about summer reads, Danielle. What was your top summer read of the summer?
You know, I've read several books. I will say, like, none of them I've been like, this is amazing.
Mhm.
I think It Ends With Us is definitely one that I would recommend, but we're talking a lot about that. But I have read Malibu Rising.
Oh, did you?
That was also popular a couple of summers ago, but it was like big hype. So me, of course, I was running away from it. I'm like, I'm not going to read Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Was it worth it?
I really liked it. But I read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo first. Like maybe last year and a half ago. And I thought it was okay. So it wasn't my favorite book. It was really good storytelling. So after that, I don't think I really dove into a lot of Taylor Jenkins Reid, but my younger sister recommended Malibu Rising.
Okay.
And I liked it a lot more.
So my favorite read last summer was One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It is so good.
Okay.
She is an incredible author, and it's actually being made into a movie as we speak. I remember seeing that on Instagram. But yes, Malibu Rising is on my TBR, and because I read One True Loves, I was like, okay, I need to read more from this author. So I think she wrote Carrie Soto is Back.
Yes.
So I want to read that too.
Did she write Daisy Jones and the Six?
Yes, I think so.
I think my younger sister also said that might be one of her favorite books.
Yes, I think so. Don't quote me on it. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, One True Loves, if you have never read that book,
okay,
read it.
I really liked Malibu Rising, so I'm definitely giving her a chance. Kind of my thoughts was really great storytelling. I liked kind of how she takes characters from different books and puts them into different worlds. Ooh. Or like different stories. Yeah. So like McReva, he was in Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And then Carrie Soto, I believe she also wrote a book called Carrie Soto is Back. Yep. Am I correct? Yeah. My younger sister also recommended that one. So I'm like, okay, I think. So I like how all these characters mingle around books.
Oh, that's cool. She writes. I didn't know that, but I've also only read one book of hers.
Oh, yeah.
One True Loves. Okay. So the one that I'm going to start off with is one that came out early January, and it's by Lauren Roberts. It is Reckless, and it is the second book to the Powerless trilogy. And let me tell you, everything you did not get in the first book of Powerless, you get in Reckless. I'm talking, it's still not spice, it's YA, but there are still scenes where you will be happy with. That is just, I mean, the romance is so cute. I mean, you got Kai Azar, who is the main male lead, and his words are just like poetry. I mean, he talks about in the first book, it's like, she asks him what your favorite color is. And he's like, because her eyes are blue, he's like, I never thought drowning would be a beautiful thing. I never thought, burning was a beautiful thing. And then all of a sudden he goes through like all of these like poetic descriptions of like what blue could be, like a blue flame, blue water. And all of a sudden he's like, blue, that's my favorite color. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's sweet.
She knows how to write a poetic male lead, and the romance is so sweet.
I remember when you finished that, we were posting all about it, and we're like, I just finished this. This was great.
Yeah. Main Character Syndrome Pod on Instagram and TikTok. I was all over talking about this because everybody was at that point. It had just come out. So I was giving my 2 thoughts, and yes, it is worth the hype. So if you have not read it and you don't like spice, it's YA.
I'll add it to my very long list of TBR books.
I know. I think my TBR list right now, I'm not even kidding you, is like 300 plus.
Right?
Yeah.
I am the same way. I'm like, oh wait, I was supposed to finish this series. I still haven't finished Throne of Glass because I was like, okay, well, I need to switch maybe to a little bit lighter kind of summer books. And I'm like, well, I still haven't finished Throne of Glass. I need to do that. I want to read a million other books. Now I want to read Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now I want to read more of Colleen Hoover.
You need to give Emily Henry another chance.
We'll see about that. But
that can be later in the
like,
TBR.
You know what? Maybe I just need to quit my job and read full time.
Maybe. You know what?
I'm just kidding. Don't fire me.
Don't fire us. But sponsor us so we can. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. So my next book was one I recently finished called The Women. I talked about it on this podcast. It was basically it's a historical fiction about a woman who was growing up privileged, and she decides that she wants to make a difference and enlists in the Army Nurse Corps in the 1960s. And we get the point of view of someone who's a nurse in the Vietnam War. And it's really an incredible story of found family. She falls in love, and this is very taboo, where she falls in love with a married man.
Oh, no.
Who is overseas fighting, or not fighting. He is a surgeon, so he's a doctor.
A lot of surgeons in books.
A lot of surgeons who are the bad guy. He's not bad at all. He's actually a really good character. But, like, I found myself, like, wanting that relationship to happen, which is, like, again, very taboo and bad. Like, you should never cheat on your wife.
Oh.
But it's because he's overseas. It's the 1960s. That happened a lot. And I was like, the relationship is so cute.
No.
And he's always like, if only I met you first. And I was like, well, you have a wife and a kid at home.
No.
Don't even.
No, I hate that. That's cringe for me.
Yeah. And it was nice because when she found out, she didn't do anything about it. Okay. So it was more of just like the longing, the wanting. And I was like, this is done super well. But like, again, you get like the perspective of someone in Vietnam. You get the found family. You get kind of the longing, the romance. And then you finally get some kind of romance with another character.
I really like found family tropes.
Especially when like you're fighting and you're like at war and you don't have your family around you. But you find, these soldiers are family. These are all that they have.
Yeah. Ooh, Andrew and I just watched Boys in the Boat.
Oh, was it good?
Seen or it's a book, so I should say
it is a book.
We did not read the book first, but now I actually want to read the book.
Really?
I was actually a coxswain on the rowing team at Alabama.
Wow.
When I was in college. I wasn't good. I'll say that. I was a walk-on, and it was not great. I kind of learned as I went. I had no experience in it with it. So when I was watching the movie, I knew things, and I was just like, yeah,
I know that term.
But there's a big found family trope in Boys in the Boat, and I loved it.
Well, that's good. What's your next one?
So I've read a few other ones. I think I talked about it in one of the last episodes, The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy.
Yep.
It's kind of an enemies to lovers trope.
Ooh, I love that one.
And a romance, sci-fi, fantasy kind of book. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was a really good, easy read is what I would call it. And there is the sequel that's come out already now. I can't remember what it's called. Something with Twyla and Frank. The Undermining of Twyla and Frank. That's what it's called. So I'll give that one definitely a try too. And I think my biggest complaint about it was, if you've ever seen the movie You've Got Mail, it resembles that. For the first half of the book, it is identical. And I'm pretty sure lines are almost exactly the same. But after you get through that, the second half of the book is when it actually becomes original and kind of veers away from that. So that's why I would say it was okay. I think I'd give it a 3 out of 5 stars. But it was also an easy read. And I am excited to kind of see how she does Twyla and Frank and see if that one's a bit more original. But I read Every Summer After.
Did you?
I have some things to say about that one.
The plot twist I talked about?
Yes, I totally saw it coming.
Did you?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to say, can I say spoiler?
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Okay.
I mean, these are meh. I mean, spoiler alert, don't skip
alert,
2 minutes.
Yeah, if you don't want to hear about Every Summer After, skip forward a couple minutes. But let me just say, there is a 99% chance that if you have sexual relations with your boyfriend's brother, he will never forgive you.
I could not believe that he took her back after that.
No, that is so unrealistic.
Completely.
I saw that coming. But then when it was confirmed, I was like, this is crap.
Yeah.
No way. No way would he take her back after she slept with his brother. And I told Andrew about it, and he literally started laughing like that was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
He was like, what? What are you reading?
I was like, the story was so good up until that point. And I was like, why? Why would you do that?
I was so hooked on this book for most of it until the very end when that plot twist came. And I was just like, it's confirmed. This is crap.
I know.
What a terrible plot twist. It could have been anything else. I don't know. Ugh. I can't
his best friend or something. Not his brother.
Yeah, a best friend. That one is definitely, I would say, a bit more forgivable. But there's still a good chance that he won't. So do not do that, women. Please.
Yeah, still betrayal.
Not. Yeah.
Not a betrayal there, but not the biggest betrayal that you could commit.
Brother.
Yeah.
Imagine being Eskimo sisters with your brother or sister, Eskimo brothers, whatever.
Definitely not. Do not.
So it had me up until that. It was very good.
It was very good. And it had one of my least favorite tropes, which is miscommunication, where she's like, why isn't he texting me back? Why isn't he loving me? Blah, 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 blah. And he is kind of like, well, I'm just giving her space, blah, 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 blah. And they both think that they're doing okay, or they both think that the other one is doing something different. Just talk to each other.
Open your mouths.
Open your mouths. Let words come out. And then maybe she wouldn't have slept with your brother. I'm just saying.
No. No, we are not going to put the blame on Sam.
No, we're not.
This was all her fault.
Both, yeah.
I was just like...
He was a little bit aloof. And, when you go to college, that's what happens. I haven't been in a relationship where I went to college and my high school sweetheart was still back home, but...
And he was like, he had never been away from home. Like, this is his first experience. It was stressful for him. And like, this was his dream. His dream was to become a doctor.
Yeah.
And so
support your boyfriend. Don't sleep with his brother. That's all I have to say. Okay. Hello, Beautiful. I talked about this in a previous podcast. I am going to take back. I am not like Julia. She actually ended up being kind of a biatch towards the end. So this book was wild. Spoiler alert for those who have not read the book. So there's like themes of mental health, suicide, and like a mother's depression after her husband's loss. And so she like abandons her kids. I hate that. Not to mention the main male lead's parents basically disowned him in the beginning of the book after his sister died. And so there's a bunch of like this mental health, like depressive themes. And then all of a sudden, Julia's sister steals her husband after she basically like, because like William goes and he tries to unalive himself. And Cecilia, the sister, goes and is like, something's not right. Like this guy, you know, he needs help. And so Julia's kind of just like, he left me. He, you know, doesn't want to be in my life. Oh, well, like doesn't even visit him in the hospital. And so the sister's always in the hospital with them. So, I mean, it was inevitable that they would fall for each other because, you know, but she went with her sister's husband. And I was like, yeah, no, same thing with like brother's brother or your boyfriend's brother. Like, no.
Yeah. Oh, that was also something in Malibu Rising too. That must be a common trend that one of the brothers was sleeping with the other brother's girlfriend, cheated with her, and then the girlfriend broke up with the one brother she was actually dating and then started secretly going out with the other brother, and then they're in love, and then she gets pregnant with his baby.
That is wild.
So yeah, there's a lot of like,
that's like my least favorite trope.
Mingling. Yeah,
is like the cheating or like switching to a sibling. Well, a significant other sibling.
Yeah.
Yikes. So that was a wild ride.
But did you like the book overall? Or
I did like it. It had some cute little moments. It was wild, I will say, with all of the plot twists and stuff. And then in the end, the mom comes back like nothing ever happened. And it's just like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
But Anna Napolitano wrote a decently entertaining book.
We both read The Summer of Broken Rules.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one.
Yeah, I like that one too. That one was probably one of my higher up reads for summer just because it was very beachy feeling. Yeah. It was like a very light read.
Definitely a good, easy beach light read that made you feel happy, even though there is kind of like an important, significant death. Yeah. One we're not like, we don't hear too much about that death. It's kind of placed after, but it's just like a girl finding her way and she finds love. And I loved that she did not like end up following the boy.
Yes. And I love that too, is like, you know, women can be independent.
Yeah.
And when your significant other, like in high school, like there were a lot of people in my high school that followed their significant other to the same college that they were going to. And it's like, no, choose the place that you want to go, where you want to grow. And if that relationship is meant to survive it, then it will. And if it's not, it was a lesson learned, or it was just a moment in your life that you'll appreciate.
Yeah. So I liked that it kind of broke that stigma, I think, that a lot of books fall in, where it's like, you know what? No, she's a strong woman.
She's a strong, independent woman.
Yeah.
And there was nobody sleeping with anyone's brother or sister.
Right? It was just good, clean fun.
What a concept. Okay, this one is a little less good, clean fun. So Iron Flame's graphic audiobooks were released this summer. And oh man,
I haven't listened to them.
The spicy scenes. I have to say, so if you don't know what a graphic audiobook is, it is a dramatized version of an audiobook. So they have actors narrating the book, obviously. So they've got different actors playing different characters. They have sound effects and they have music. And so like they've got dragon roars and like flame, and it is so cool. So I love listening to these when I'm driving. So when I'm driving, like I drove to Nashville and I listened to House of Earth and Blood, which is also out right now. So if you have not read that, it's a Crescent City series. Try that one. But then I listened to Iron Flame on my way home, the 12-hour drive, as I said before. And wowza. I mean, it was like listening to a movie in your head.
Yeah.
And it is such a cool experience. And when you have it like in that surround sound kind of thing with your car, 10 out of 10 recommend.
I don't know. It seems kind of dirty to me.
I will say there are some dirty parts in Iron Flame.
There's only a few.
Only a few. The shower scene is wild. My house, my chair, my woman was my cheeks were definitely on fire.
I think it's a good one to listen to when you are riding on the highway. Probably not when you're riding around town and stopping everywhere and there's a lot of people outside your car.
Yeah, no. I was just down the interstate for miles and miles and I was just listening to this scene and I was like, oh my God.
Or like the headphones in, you know?
Yeah, no, seriously.
That's awesome.
So Kaya Freites and Gabriel Michael are the actors in the graphic audiobook. And so Kaya Freites had posted on Instagram and I commented, girl, how do you do those spicy scenes though? And she's like, reply? She replied and she's like, girl, I don't know.
I think I've also said this before. I don't know that I could ever be like a narrator.
No.
Who has to read
spicy scenes.
Spicy scenes.
There's one I follow on Instagram. I can't remember the name of her for the life of me, but she shows like behind the scenes of her reading some spicy scenes. And I'm just like, how do you do that and feel comfortable enough to do that with a straight face?
Right.
Because like I would be laughing the entire time.
Me too.
There's
no way.
There's
a lot of outtakes.
Oh, I would love to listen to that.
Yeah.
I would love to hear them. Okay. Do you have any more books?
I think that's about it.
That's it for you? Okay. I had one more. It's called The Trials of Lila Dalton by L.J. Shepard, and it just came out in February of 2024. And I'm not going to go too much into detail with this one, but this book was also a wild ride. So it basically starts out with this girl named Lila, and she's a lawyer who ends up on an island in the middle of a court case where she is defending a serial killer, but she has amnesia. She has no idea what's going on. No idea who she is.
What?
It is wild.
Okay, that sounds really good.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 recommend. It is such a good book. That is a wrap of our top summer reads for the summer. Danielle, how'd you feel?
I felt good with these summer reads. I'm excited to get into some fall ones and get into my lovely Halloween horror
spooky
thriller
season.
Ones.
Pumpkin spice everything.
Basically.
Love it. For now, to the readers who listen, we'll see you later.
Bye, everyone.